Hi, my name is Abigail Lovelace, and I am exploring role-based AI agents and how they present deliberation. This project explores whether assigning specialized cognitive roles to large language model agents can produce more human-like deliberation. It's specifically looking at role-based artificial intelligence architecture, which I've coined as RAIA, and it is inspired by cognitive theories like the Society of the Mind by Marvin Minsky, global workspace theory, and a mirror architecture by Nicole Singh. There are 3 agents in this system. There is a reasoning agent, an emotional agent, and a protector agent, which work collaboratively to discuss complex problems. The deliberations were evaluated using specific metrics which I developed, including perspective diversity, role differentiation, conflict, deliberation depth, and just generally how the system resembled human group decision-making. The architecture I created was loosely based off of the mirror architecture by Nicole Singh, but it really focused on a controller and a set of specific agents. There was a reasoning agent, which I named Mary, a protector agent, which I named Elizabeth, and an emotional agent, which I named Jane. These agents raced to update a global workspace. This was accomplished using a lock, so each agent would attempt to obtain the lock if they had a thought they wanted to contribute to the workspace. Once they were able to contribute to the workspace, all agents updated their understanding of the current workspace and then raced again to try and contribute to the workspace again. This resulted in these graph simulations. These are a way to visualize how the agents responded to each other. So you can see in the results section, there is purple nodes, that is the protector agent, or Elizabeth. There's also yellow nodes, which is the reasoning agent, or Mary. And you can also see orange nodes, which is the emotional agent, or Jane. So how did this perform? There were 3 questions that I asked. The first was the trolley problem, where a trolley is hurtling towards 5 people, and if you pull a lever, it would divert to only kill 1 person. There was also an advising problem, where a student had a problem of deciding which major to pursue. And then finally a medical triage problem, where there were 3 patients, and the agents had to decide which patient to treat first. You can see from the radar chart that the decision quality was pretty high. The agents worked together very well to decide what to do. The other high aspect was role differentiation. So each agent was prompted to have a specific role, and the agents did differentiate very well. You can also see that internal contradiction was not high. So in this case, the agents did not contradict each other, but tended to agree with each other more often. There was some high deliberation depth and some variety and perspective diversity as well, but those were not a really strong aspect of the experiment, so it's not easy to make conclusions from those. The conclusions we did make was that role specialization was very consistent. The agents did choose along their roles very well. The prompt complexity influenced the interaction. So I experimented quite a bit with the prompts. For example, with the advising problem, I used 3 different prompts and found that it produced different types of graphs for each prompt. Generally, the agents seem to respond best to each other when told explicitly to respond to another agent. Otherwise, they tended to respond to themselves. Finally, it was interesting to evaluate it based on the framework I provided. The decision quality, perspective diversity, etc. really helped understand how the agents approached the problem. 2 specific areas that I looked at were global workspace theory. Another cognitive science aspect that I really explored was distributed cognition. Marvin Minsky especially discussed the Society of the Mind, where independent agents act on specific information. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or want to discuss my results.